Hey guys, as promised, back out at the range today with the Prodigy, the Springfield Armory Prodigy DS Comp. And I know I told you I would get it over on the table, but when I was cleaning this up, and again, I don't know that this is a problem. You can look at the pictures. I took several of them so I could compare it after today's range trip. But around the rim of the bull barrel were some missing pieces, like the barrel had been hit abnormally or something. I'm not sure. It could have totally been that way when I picked it up at the store. I'm not sure. I probably should do a better job of looking at that kind of stuff. As I said, I've gotten so used to, I'm going to review the gun, just go get it. You know, don't look at it. You're going to review it anyway, potentially sell it. Who knows? Go get the gun. So those places could have been on that barrel. You know, when I bought it, it doesn't affect the function. It's still a great shooter. I've shot about 25 rounds out here just messing around, getting my Trijicon RMR zeroed up here. Again, could have totally been that way. Not that it's okay, but it could have totally been that way and had nothing to do with the shooting. But with all of these comped guns out there, I really have concerns about the beating that the tritium on the front sights will take, or just the front sights in general, the beating that the barrel will take itself. And then I'm not sure about the perimeter of that barrel. Like I said, you saw the pictures. I'm gonna clean it up and take some more, but this is not a tabletop where all of you guys that don't like to look up on the website or whatever want to know about the material and weights and all of that stuff. I'm totally going to do that today. The other day we put 350 through it. Today I'm just out here trying to get another 100 through it to see if there seems to be like it's something with the gun and not just something that was already there. See if it's any worse. I hope not. Really love the gun. Smooth as silk. Man, been having just a ton of fun out here shooting this thing at the range. I'm just going to shoot real quick. Again, we've already put 25. I've got my 17 rounder in here. I'm going to shoot these 17 rounds on this steel down here. I believe I got her zeroed up, and then we'll flip the target around and let you guys watch it in action. Just a ton of fun to shoot, man. It's a really fun shooting gun. Either way, I'm gonna get reloaded and we'll get on the targets down here. Like I said, I just came out to put another 100 rounds to make it a smooth 450, and then because I more or less I just want to look at the end of that barrel and see what those 100 rounds do to it. Heck, I might do 150 to make it a smooth 500. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, just having a little fun here. I should have spray painted my black steel, but whatever. Just standing here at about 8 yards. That seems like a safe distance to me. Just going to try to have a little fun with it. Again, just trying to get rounds through it so I can look and see if I'm hoping that maybe it just got beat around in transport or something, and who the heck knows, because again, it doesn't seem, or it definitely isn't affecting the firearm and its function at all. We're still flawless at this point. Start on the Texas Star. I didn't John Wick that on the ground for all of you that get concerned about that kind of thing. Let's see if we can shoot the red kneecap. Man, that's a small target with the low light out here. See what we can do. I don't think y'all gonna be able to tell if I hit that or it's like I'm going a little left. One heck of a group for sure. Uh, Again, I assume that the Trigicon is on. Could just be me, but whatever. I'll shoot a little bit off camera just to make sure, because I might actually carry this gun around. It's a ton of fun. Either way, I've put, let's see, that's 50 rounds now. So I'm gonna put another 50 rounds through it. I'm gonna do that off camera, and then I'll kind of do a follow-up on the table and see if it looks like the barrel has been damaged anymore. Let's get the thing over on the table and let's talk a little bit about it.
Hello everyone, Gene here, G Squared Tactical. Got the Prodigy DS comp on the table after having went back to the range to zero my Trigicon RMR. I'm not going to talk about the magazines, already done a video on that. What I mentioned, what you just saw at the range, I mentioned what I thought could potentially be an issue with some abnormal wear on the rim of the barrel here, and I told you that I was not sure if that happened or while I was shooting it, or if it was like that when I picked it up at the store, because I did not look. It's not a matter of me not having seen it, I just didn't look. I went in, I wanted it, I took it, I just made sure it wasn't beat up on the finish, and I walked out the door with it, okay? So I'm happy to say that I did not get to clean this thing up. As you can see, it's pretty bad, dirty still, but I did clean the perimeter of the barrel here, and I compared it to the pictures that I took after the first range trip, and I'm happy to say that the ones that were there, the little gouges, if you will, are no more defined, they're no worse, and there are no new ones. So I can only assume that that must have happened at the factory. I don't know, maybe it got thrown around, maybe it happened during shipping, I'm not really sure, but the 150 or so, 200 rounds we put through it at the range that you just watched, it did not get any worse. None of the ones that were already there or any more defined as though they were being abnormally hit or something like that. So, I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Again, it must have been there when I picked it up at the store from the factory or something. And the main thing is it did not get any worse, and there are no new hits to the barrel or gouges out of the barrel. So who knows? Either way, it was completely flawless through those additional rounds that we just put through it at the range a few days ago, on top of the original review that I did on this. So now I just kind of want to talk. I promised I would tell you a little bit about the lengths and things like that, because people like to know that stuff. But it is a forged carbon steel black Sierra coat slide. Obviously it has the internal compensator on the front here. We'll talk about that here in just a second. 2-piece full length guide rod. It weighs in at 33 ounces. The color obviously is black. Frame forged carbon steel black Sierra coat. Grips are polymer. The overall length is 8.5 inches. The barrel is a 5-inch forged stainless steel match grade bull, 1/16. The sight, tritium front, black serrated rear sight, as already mentioned, 117 and 120 round mag. They are the Duramags that was in the original ones, and yes, my staccato mags still fit in this one, and lock back, and I can only assume that it will also function without issue, just like it did in my original Prodigy. MSRP is $15.99. They can be had for a good bit less than that, $14.49, $14.99. I was fortunate to get it from my guy that I always get good deals from, and I was out the door around $1,400, $1,440, something like that. So I feel like I got a good price. Front, rear serrations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slot, light laser rail up here. Again, this is the 5-inch version. So talk a little bit about some of the things that I wished they would have changed from the original. I was a big fan of the original. I know there was a lot of people that were not because of some of the feeding issues and just all of the media surrounding the release of this and the problems that people were saying that they were having. I had none of those issues. But some of the things I wished that they would have changed from the original. Now, I'm not a huge fan of slide locks that stick way off the gun, but on a 1911 or 2011 or double stack 1911, with the slide lock being set so much further forward than, say, on my Shield Carry Comp or my Hellcat or something, I don't really like them to stick way off the frame because I find myself, you know, it not locking back on the empty mag or riding it or whatever, but just how far set in to the grip and the frame here and just being sometimes seemingly near impossible to manipulate. I wish they would have just done that. Was a big complaint from a lot of people. I know that. I heard it in the comment section, people at the gun store. It was just a big complaint by a lot of people, and I just wished that they would have listened and addressed that rather than just trying to put out and get out in front of all of the companies or manufacturers now that are putting comps on their guns. I feel like so many people are just comping a gun. It's just an afterthought. They aren't really putting too much thought into it. And if they got this thing right finally, I think there was a few changes they could have made to make it really, really stand out to those people that may have been turned away by some of them original issues that it had. Also, on my original one, I'm going to use the 17 round mag here, but on my original one, I'm not sure that I've ever had a mag release button that was as sticky and gritty. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something internal, as I have not taken it down to see if it's something internal or if it's just simply that sometimes there's a little bit of play in the mag release button in the frame, so it moves back and forth in the frame. There is zero play in this thing. It's almost as if you could pull that out of there, buff a little bit off, a little bit of the material, buff it down a little bit, put it back in there, and it would, I mean, you hear that? I mean, it's like sandpaper, and it's nearly impossible to do a quick release on that thing out at the range and do my John Wick flip that everybody gets so upset about. But when I say from the original, my original Prodigy was the exact same way. And I know, again, in the comment section, a lot of people complained about that. In the gun stores, I would hear a lot of people complain about that. And I just wish, again, they would have fixed that. Whatever that is, I don't know what it is or why it's so gritty, why it's so hard to manipulate. Sometimes you just feel like you ain't gonna be able to. Like literally, you gotta do this number here. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like I don't know why it's so dang sticky, and what I could do to fix that. Maybe if you guys have done that or have any ideas, let me know. Maybe I'll just change it out altogether. Maybe it should have been a little more tactile, stuck off the frame just a little bit more so that you could manipulate it a little easier without adjusting your grip, which you're not going to do with this. Either way, wish they would have changed that. And also, I wish they would have done something different with the grip here. So I was showing this to my friend on the porch the other night. He's like, you know, I liked your original Prodigy, man. I really did. There was a lot I liked about it. I liked how smooth the slide was. I like how the thing shot. But the staccato, like if I'm not looking at the internals, if I'm not looking at how it's been hand fitted versus a production gun and so on and so forth, all of these things that may play into metal quality and things of that nature, if we're looking at none of that, just simply holding the gun, just simply manipulating the slide, playing with the safety, all of those things, that I like the grip better on the staccato. Again, it's a new technically a new release that is comped, and I just wish that, you know, they would have, you know, did something different, made a different grip. Also, another thing is that if they were going to put a plate in there, that they would have put a plate that was a little bit more, that, you know, compatible with a little bit more popular optic, like the RMR. I realize that the Hex Dragonfly is it's their optic. I get that. And so, you know, naturally they're going to put a plate in there for their optic, encourage you to get their optic. Okay, fine, I understand that. But I'm not, and listen, I'm not dogging Vortex. I wear a Vortex hat a lot. I like the Vortex. I just don't like how their optic looks on the gun. You know, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Vortex red dots for their pistols, nor am I a fan at all of the Hex Dragonfly. So I wish they would have put maybe a second plate in there. At least give me 2 plates. Give me 2 different options for plates, but they didn't do that. But to talk about the comp, which is really the only change that was really made to the gun. So what do I think about it? The gun shot, I can't even really put into words how much better, flatter, more accurate, faster, all of those things. The single port comp in the barrel here, how much of a difference it made. Some guns it seems to work, some guns not so much. Seems to work beautifully on this thing, like almost non-existent recoil. I mean, genuinely almost non-existent. So flat shooting, back to zero, and almost, I mean, it's almost like he never left zero. It works. Now, as far as that goes, am I on board with the whole big old port in the front of the barrel and the slide versus an external compensator, one that you screw onto a threaded barrel, or like my TTI, or on the FN lineup where you just, you know, one turn and pull it off? I like the external ones way better. And I say that because I've shot a lot of those, a lot of guns with those, and I didn't get this just what looks like abnormal wear on the inside of the barrel and the rim of the slide on this thing. So I don't know if these big old ports up in the front of the barrel and slide, you know, it can't be good for the tritium front sight. I've cleaned it off a little bit trying to clean up for that barrel to check that. But this sight, you could tell that it had literally took hell. I'm going to hold on to this for a while. I kind of regret selling my original one. I really do like the gun. Tell me what your thoughts are. Go over, check me out on Patreon. Consider supporting me monthly there. Also check me out over on Rumble. Go over, check out gsquaredtactical.com. Pick up some hats, gear, things of that nature. Either way, hope that wasn't too long, just trying to tell you, because I promised I would, about some of the weights, heights, things of that nature. If I didn't mention the height, it's 5.5 without the optic. And so far I love the gun. No problems with it whatsoever. There's a few changes I wish they would have made that would not have really added to the cost of the gun, in my opinion. But they didn't do it, so we got what we have. Again, hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Let everyone know where they can find the best blue-collar gun reviews on YouTube. Thank you so much, and God bless.